How you guys doing this morning? All right, good. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Andy Whiteman. You probably just recognize me as the sleepy-looking teenager who sits in the back with his parents. In case you don't know my parents, they're sitting right there. My dad's holding that hideous pole thing, trying to film me right now. So I know at my age, you guys have lots of questions about where I want to go to college and what I want to do there. So I'll answer them right now. It's a pretty simple answer right now. I have no idea. I'm just a kid who enjoys playing baseball, being a poor golfer, and trying to make people laugh. So our gospel today comes from the book of Luke. Jesus finds himself in his hometown of Nazareth, telling his fellow Nazarenes about going outside our boundaries so that God's mercy and healing can be extended to the outsiders. So I asked around, trying to get a start on this sermon, and get some tips from people, and I received the same answer a couple of different times. I said, just talk about that mission trip you went on. And that's all well and good, and probably make a tremendous sermon. I just have one tiny little problem with that. I've never been on a mission trip before. So although I've never been on a mission trip before, I do have a mission in life, and that is to live out my faith every day by helping those who need it. Today's gospel tells us to go outside our boundaries to do our service, and although many people take this as going outside our regional boundaries, it can also be applied to going outside of our sentimental limits. I'll give you guys an example. Last year, my friends and I volunteered for Habitat for Humanity's Day of Caring. Thinking we'd be using power tools to cut wood like butter and build houses, we quickly realized that we'd be using our brute force to clear out an elderly woman's backyard. And we were perfectly fine doing that. We were willing to do anything to help. Unfortunately, our willingness to help put us in some awkward situations, like risking mesothelioma to clean out the asbestos-ridden garage, or getting poison ivy up and down our forearms. Although we were in some pretty negative aspects during our job, getting to see the elderly woman's appreciation afterwards made everything entirely worth it. Like I said, today's lesson tells us to take a step outside our traditional boundaries. I like to think of this as a comfort zone. Now, everyone has one. It defines what we feel good doing. Many of us are happy remaining within the confines of our comfort zone. And although it is a nice, cozy place to stay, Jesus calls us to push the envelope in order to fulfill our service for the cross. And it can be hard to do that. Believe me, I get to volunteer each week and help out with Marty's kids. And although dealing with kids isn't always my forte, it is so much more fulfilling afterwards because I know I got to do something I don't normally get to do. You see, God's going to put us in some uncomfortable situations along our spiritual journey. But if we have faith and put our trust in God, He'll find a way to make things work out in the end. So I've been going to church here for about 17 years, and after listening to pastor's sermons for all of those years, there's one thing I've learned among all other things, and that is a true Redeemer Lutheran Church sermon isn't complete until the great Lutheran theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer has been brought up. So I'll finish by addressing one of his quotes. Bonhoeffer once said, "Action springs not from thought, but from a readiness for responsibility." Service doesn't mean you have to risk an arm and a leg. It simply means you're helping someone in the light of God. So talk to that person you've never talked to before. Try to make their day 10 times better. Lend a hand to those in need, even if your decision seems to go against the grain. Volunteer for something and make a change. Find your mission that God calls you to execute and commit your full effort to it. Thank you.